Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Superman and Lois mainly, but also just the DC TV stuff on the CW as a whole, because it's a bit of a circus. That's probably the best way to put it. A bit of a circus at the moment, so we got some stuff to talk about. So obviously, we know, I know, your neighbor's dog knows, the CW has been a bit of a just drama fest circus for the past 2 years roughly, or something like that, since we saw that Nexstar was going to buy it out, and CW and Warner Brothers were going to give up their, not CW and Warner Brothers, CBS and Warner Brothers were going to give up their majority share of the company, and we're going to keep minority share of 25% split between them both, so 12.5% each, and that was mainly just due to making programming potentially, and who knows, in the next 2 years that might completely sold off as well, where there's other minority owners or Nexstar own 100%. Who knows what's going to happen over the next couple of years. But due to this, the CW has been cancelling shows due to like budgetary reasons and sort of wanting to make the network profitable, because we've known, and this was public knowledge, it's been public knowledge for years. I don't know why people didn't know this, but the CW was never made to be a profitable network, or was never intended to be a profitable network. It was intended to make profit off, aftermarket stuff and everything like that through Netflix and, the actual shows that they have. It was the franchises and the branding that was going to make the money, not the ads that were on the network. But unfortunately, because you see HBO Max coming up, Paramount Plus, all these other streaming services, that, revenue or that stream of revenue is just either no longer there or it's dwindling away as, older shows start to end and new shows come in that aren't a part of those revenue streams. Now, one of the shows that isn't part of this revenue stream is Superman and Lois, because it goes to HBO Max. It doesn't go to Netflix, which was a big billion-dollar deal for Warner Brothers, CBS, and the CW, in the past decade, which included shows like Flash, Arrow, all those Arrowverse shows, Riverdale, all those shows like that. So they're not a part of it. So that the whole Netflix deal is coming to an end, or is on its last little legs. So there's been a lot of questions about Superman and Lois. What's going to happen? Should we be scared? Now, for me, I haven't bought into, I think I said it like a couple of days ago in another video, I haven't really bought into the fear-mongering of it, because it's really people just assuming stuff rather than basing off any sort of actual proper information, because all the outlets that provide proper information are sort of saying, look, it's 50-50. Could go either way, but at this point, we don't really know too much. It's just a wait and see. Now, from when I'm making this video on what would be Sunday for Americans, but it's probably going to go up on the Monday. So Tyler Hoechlin has apparently stated that we will know what's going on with Superman and Lois following the weekend. So I don't know if this video is going to come out at a really awkward time, and that information is already out. Fingers crossed that is not the case. But we might be waiting until Tuesday American time, because that's when the CW upfronts are for this year. Even though it's not a proper upfront, it's more of like a press event sort of thing. But at this event, they're going to actually show the full sort of lineup, which would include Superman and Lois anyway. That would be a mid-season show. But there's a lot of talk that that's where they're going to actually confirm things. So all things are at rest and we know what's happening, in the next 12 months or so. But there is an article here from the Hollywood Reporter, which, to be honest, it's mostly a diss track. So if you want to see people, I guess, dunk on the CW, you can feel free to click the link in the description down below after we go over the main source of info. It's actually sort of surprised they posted this stuff, but yeah, it's a bit of a diss track dunk fest on the CW, and it's, where it's going, and that probably going to be dead in the next 5 years or something like that. But yeah, we'll go over the relevant piece, which revolves around, I guess, for us, Superman and Lois, and what could be happening going forward, and a potential move that's already trying to be worked out. But yeah, we'll just go to the part of the article which is relevant, which says, sources say the CW's early renewal decision for All American was part of Nexstar's deal with Warner's, as the studio continues to profit from the show's lucrative streaming deal with Netflix for the series from executive producer Greg Berlanti. Also returning is Walker, with a 13-episode order that will keep star Jared Padalecki on the network, and CBS Studios with at least one original on what remains of the CW. All American, Homecoming, and the DC Comics dramas Superman, Lois, and Rookie, Gotham Knights, remain on the bubble, as sources say the CW and Warners are reviewing costs for all three programs. Homecoming, it's worth noting, also has a lucrative streaming deal for Warner's with Netflix. Schwartz, sources say, this is Brad Schwartz, who's like the CEO, I think, of the CW, I think now. He wants to keep at least one DC show on the network, with a move to HBO Max possible for the veteran and pricey Superman and Lois. Other sources note that no matter how many homegrown originals the CW winds up with, none will feature episode counts of more than 13, with Walker already confirmed for its shortest order to date. And then this, I think it's Leslie Goldberg, says, full disclosure, my wife co-created Gotham Knights, that being Natalie Abrams. So here's the thing. We did talk about this a couple of days ago, a few days ago, whenever it was. Another thing where they said that Gotham Knights was the cheapest show to make, or the cheapest DC show that's ever been made for network TV, at least on the CW. So that's really one incentive to keep it around. The other reason, or the other point to bring up, is that would it be worth keeping it around? Like, wouldn't it, like, what about those other shows they canceled, like Kung Fu, Winchester's, that other Walker spinoff? Are they more expensive or less popular than Gotham Knights? I'm not too sure what the ranking system is there in regards to that. But the big thing that's been said here, which a lot of people are grasping onto, is the whole HBO Max move. That's a possibility for Superman and Lois, where it's not just, I guess like the CW that's looking to move to HBO Max, but it's also Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers see it as a very, viable show to keep around. It's, good quality, people watch it, everything like that. And as I've said in, videos when relevant in the past, there was that ranking for the 2022 most viewed list on HBO Max, where Superman and Lois was in the top 20. I think it was like 15 or 16. And Peacemaker, a show that Warner Brothers went above and beyond to say was extremely popular, was only like 4 spots above it. Like, I think it was like 11th spot. Now, to add, this includes all the HBO shows, like Game of Thrones was mixed in there, and your Euphorias, your Successions, all those HBO shows were mixed there in there as well, which obviously filled up that top 10 because so many people watch those shows. So is this move possible for Superman and Lois? The answer is it's the same as in regards to the CW survival possibility. I would honestly say it's a 50-50. Now, the big thing with this is that you're not seeing too much like inlet, if you want to put it, or, things going into HBO Max. It's more the other way around. So the only way I could see this is if they want to finish the show properly. They see the show as like a Warner Brothers legacy show. It's with one of their big characters. They probably don't want the headline of Superman cancelled or Superman TV show cancelled. I honestly, this is what I see, whether it's on HBO Max or the CW. I think the announcement's going to be Superman and Lois to end with season 4. That's what my thought process is. At least if it's on the CW, that's what it will say. Maybe on HBO Max, it just gets renewed if it's going to move to HBO Max, and they won't say it's going to end, because the thing is that I think they don't want Superman and Lois being on when like that Superman Legacy movie comes out that James Gunn is doing. But we know that movie is not coming out until the middle of 2025. By that point, Superman and Lois could do 2 more seasons, a season 4 and a season 5. So that's, if it moves to HBO Max, it could get 2 more seasons. I think if it stays on the CW, it might end with the season 4. So which would you prefer? I think most people would probably prefer two more seasons on HBO Max, but you just don't know, do you? But yeah, this is a wait and see whether it gets announced this week or we're waiting a few more weeks. I'm not too sure. Superman and Lois is on break this week. There's no new episode. So at least there won't be a clash of information in regards to an episode airing and any good or bad news, whichever way it swings. But in regards to DC TV and just, I guess, potential spin-offs from either the Arrowverse or Superman and Lois, because it's unclear which way I was going, though it seemed that it was probably going to be a spin-off from Superman and Lois, considering where the character is situated. And that's the Diggle spin-off, Just As You. It's been in development for, I think it was announced at the beginning of last year. So it's been over a year now. I think it was January 2022 that it was announced. And that is still happening. Now, the last information we got was actually from David Ramsey, where he was asked about, and I think this was from TV Line, and he was asked about any updates, and David Ramsey told him, now this was at the end of last year, so I think it was like October 2022, so 10 months after it was initially announced, and he said that they were on the second draft of a script, and we just closed the deal on a new writer. I'm not sure if I can say her name, so I won't, but we're very close to submitting our second draft. It's still in development, and we're moving forward. Now, the big thing with this is that the CW, of course, didn't put in any new like pilots into place this season. There's no new shows. It's all either shows that have, getting renewed, or they're acquiring shows from like Canada, Australia, England, other networks in America and stuff like that have already filmed. they're not making any new shows. So Justice U obviously wouldn't fold into that. So I think the best chance for Justice U to be a thing, though I don't think anyone thinks it's going to happen, but if it's going to happen, I guess it would be on HBO Max, because the CW is not going to pick that up. They're not going to give that a go. I just don't think they are. I don't see why they would. And not because of any potential quality or anything. The pitch for the show sounds pretty interesting and pretty cool, but they're just not making shows. So they'd probably make some like reality show, or I don't know, some like same set sitcom or something like that. They wouldn't spend money on like a drama, action superhero show. It'd just be a lot of money with, IP that they have to pay for. So yeah, I think the best chance of this happening would be on HBO Max, and I think those are slim pickings. I just don't see that happening, but it's still a thing. It hasn't been cancelled, hasn't been shelved or anything like that. It's still a possibility, which is crazy to think. But I've seen a lot of people asking, and that's the most recent update, end of like in October of last year. So nothing since that point. Maybe David Ramsey might talk about it at a convention he goes to or something like that. But at this point, we're still as clueless as we was back in October. So we'll wait and see. Maybe if Superman Lois does get renewed, maybe that shines a bit more of a possibility of like life for Justice U, but I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens over the hopefully just next couple of days, but maybe the next couple of weeks in regards to this. Hopefully the news is positive. I think it's 50-50 either way, as I said before, whether it survives on the CW or does move to HBO Max. I think the odds are 50-50 either way. But yeah. It'd be such a disappointment if Superman and Lois didn't get to properly end, because I just don't think season 3 has a proper ending. I think it's a very soft ending. It wouldn't be anything that you even regard to as a serious finale. And I think the show has more to offer, at least for another season or two. So fingers crossed that things work out, for the best. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome. You could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions and everything we went over in this video. What are your hopes for Superman and Lois? Would you want it to stay on the CW or move to HBO Max? I think most people probably prefer it to move to HBO Max, if it's just for a security reason. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down there. And Justice U, I mean, do you have any hope? Do you have any hope? Let me know. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.